What's going on, Pokemon GO trainers? Welcome to episode 10 of the Lured Up Creator Series, podcast bringing your favorite content creators to talk about their work, process, and the game that brings it all together, Pokemon GO. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Saturday, August 1st. I'm your host, Ken Pescatore, joined by my co-host, Adam Tuttle. Adam, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing
What's going
fantastic, as per usual.
Well, would that make you fantastic, Adam, today?
Fantastically for certain.
Okay, well, that's good, because we're joined by a second Adam today. We have AwesomeAdam with us here today. Adam, what's happening, man? What's going on?
What's good? I'm really happy to be on here. It's my first podcast, so I'm really excited.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
Well, we're glad to be your first.
Yeah. Pop that cherry, that podcast cherry. No, it's I know, right? Welcome to the show. No, it's there's the fact that the podcasting has kind of started really extending its tendrils into the Pokemon content world is amazing. I'm a huge advocate for the format, so I love introducing people to podcasts, bringing them into the podcast universe, and being able to let them share their content in long form audio. So
let your voice be heard.
Hells yeah. So, yes. All right. Well, let's start with the basics. What we typically do at the top of every show is we'll just let the guest introduce themselves, introduce your, where you're from, your brand, all that stuff, and then we'll get into your relationship with the Pokemon franchise at large, and we'll start talking about some content, man. So why don't you take a little time to introduce yourself? Let us know all about you.
Well, just to introduce myself, my name is Adam. As you know, my brand is AwesomeAdam TV. I do Twitch. I post on social media, Instagram, Twitter specifically, and I just started doing YouTube as well earlier this year. I am from Los Angeles. I am 24 years old. I'll be 25 in October. And I've been playing Pokemon literally since the day I could remember. I think I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. It's been so long, dude.
You're so young. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome that you're here.
So long.
Yeah, it's great, man. So all right, 3 or 4 years old, so 21 years ago, so pretty much when the franchise came to the States, you kind of grew up with this then from the very beginning.
Literally, dude. I have shirts from when I was little, the VHS tapes, all that stuff. What I could barely get my hands on at the time. Pokemon related, I would try to at least. And my first ever Pokemon game was Pokemon Stadium, actually.
Oh, no,
not
that's
even
cool.
any of the mainline games.
It's different.
Bro,
yeah.
Those fucking mini games, man. The amount of hours I put into those mini games, dude.
Metapod and Kakuna, the Harden.
Yo,
Yeah.
That was such a good
mini
game.
games are the best. All those.
They honestly were a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. And I think what was really cool right after is that I actually started playing Yellow, and then I jumped over to Ruby, believe it or not. And then I went back to Gold and Silver. I actually grew up with not a lot of money. And so at the time when my parents actually got me that N64 with Pokemon Stadium, I was actually shocked, you know what I mean? Because I had the same VHS tapes from Pokemon to play over and over and over and over again, and I had the same two shirts I would like to wear all the time, but especially with Pokemon, I always tell people the reason why I fell in love with it so much at the beginning, or especially as a kid, is because, my parents really couldn't give me games like that. And so with Pokemon, the beauty about it is that you can play it as long as you want, and it's literally a never-ending journey. You could play for hours upon hours. I could literally, I played Ruby and Emerald maybe a bajillion times. Same with Yellow as well too. So and Pokemon Stadium, just constantly doing rental teams. So that's really how it started with me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, a lot of trainers think that really with any of the main series games, or any of the games really, they're once you reach that end game position, that's really where things start taking off and where you can really dig your heels in and start cranking some gameplay out, which is really cool.
Or you can put it on pause like I do.
Oh jeez, God, fucking Adam. All right, so what about now? You're going to be 25 years old, man. You're still a very young man, but as an adult, what is it about the Pokemon franchise that kind of motivated you and inspired you to start creating content about the franchise?
So actually, basically, at some point in my life, I think it was near the end of high school during Black and White, where I just kind of, I wouldn't say fell off. Like I played Black and White, and I played Black 2 and White 2, but it just wasn't, it just wasn't my time, if that makes sense. I think that at that time was kind of like the time. Now I would say step away. Like I liked the games, but it wasn't one of those games where I played over like a billion times or started doing anything competitively. Like I actually did competitive in Diamond and Pearl. You know what I mean? So I was really nice. Very much into that. Like building teams, breeding, all that stuff, playing on Pokemon Battle Revolution on my Wii, connecting all that stuff. But Black and White is kind of just that 5th gen was kind of where I just was like whatever. And what re-inspired me was when I started university, I was like 17, like the first week, and so like it was kind of hard for me to kind of get to know people at that time. And coincidentally, that first week, what came out was Pokemon X and Y. And so that was like when I picked up the game, and like it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, like it just made my love for the game like skyrocket once again, like it was kind of like, when you're going down, like on on the roller coaster, you're going down, and then like Black was kind of like that build up, like I was like, is it gonna, is this roller coaster gonna be really cool? And then X and Y came out, just like, whew, like I just went, it added some extra loop-de-loops. So much love. Yeah, dude. It was so much love there.
X and Y for sure was a huge step mechanically in the Pokemon franchise kind of timeline. So I mean, I did something very similar. I was in and out of the franchise kind of between generations 4 and 6, but once X and Y came out, it was, and playing that game and seeing the just the beauty of it and how smooth the mechanics were and all the different things you could do. Yeah, I was sucked back in, and then once Go came out, fucking forget about it. But
yeah. And then I was actually gonna say, like, getting into that, what happened was I loved X and Y so much. Everything, worldwide release, everybody got the game at the same time, 3D Pokemon game, all that fun stuff. And then that's when Omega Ruby came out even more. Oh my god, like I was just like on this hype train of myself, basically, like, you know what I mean? And then right after that, I actually hit a really, really like low point in my life, in terms of like emotionally. Like I just feel like I just wasn't happy about things in my life. Like I just, I wasn't excited about anything anymore. Like it just something that kind of like came over me at some point in my life. I'm sure like everybody's had that and around their 20s, you know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna be doing for the rest of my life? What are my plans? I guess you could not really say like a midlife crisis, but like a quarter life, because you're expecting in college to figure out what you're doing for the rest of your life as a 20-year-old,
Yep.
And
I know how that is.
That hit me hard. It hit me really, really hard. And, I just felt like I needed something like to, I guess made me look forward to the future. Just know that like, hey, like, life just won't always be the same. There could always be something new and surprising. And, in a way, what happened was actually I saw the original trailer for Pokemon Go, with like Mega Lucario and Gyarados and having all the Pokemon come in the real world. And dude, when I saw that trailer, I geeked out so much. I think everybody at my job, everybody in my classes, everybody knew about Pokemon Go coming out at that point, because I was showing everybody that trailer when it was coming out, and I was just so excited. And so
hell yeah,
the world was excited.
Yeah, dude, it was honestly insane. And so when Pokemon Go actually officially came out, it was honestly the craziest thing ever. Like that the whole feeling of just not being excited about anything anymore, and just, kind of losing interest and just kind of like worrying about stuff. Like as soon as the day that game came out, it literally, I guess, changed my perspective on like how things can make you so happy so quickly, and like something can come out of the blue and just like, just I don't know how to like bring so much enjoyment. So that day I knew, or that time that I knew that like, to be more positive about things in life, and things will happen. You just don't know what to expect in life. That's
man.
What it is.
That's so awesome. I mean, for sure, pretty much. I'd imagine that the majority of our audience feels the same way. That that day that they first picked up the game, whether it was the first day the game was released or whenever it was, it's pretty life changing. Because the way this game, the culture surrounding this game, and not just the culture of Pokemon fans, but the culture of the players, the gamers, the actual physical process of playing the game, that culture is life-changing. And Absolutely. The way this game kind of builds itself into your daily routine, being a real-world live service game, it's pretty groundbreaking. So yeah, man, it's definitely it had a very profound impact on both Adam and my life.
Yep.
You know, the first time we played it, it was like, fuck, man, that the trajectory was set, and it was like, all right, this is the way to go. Now, what's your favorite way to engage with the franchise? Because through your socials, I see fucking everything. I see tons of TCG stuff. I see you playing Sword and Shield. I see you playing Pokemon Go. So, I mean, what's your main way that you engage with the franchise from a content perspective right now?
I don't know, dude. Like I said, I have a lot of love for the franchise. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't feel like I need to be one of those people who are just likes one thing of the game specifically. Like, I know I love shiny Pokemon. I love this. I love that. But like, you know, why do I have to sit here and be like, oh, I only play Pokemon Go? That's it. Like, I don't dive into the main series games. I don't dive into the cards. Like, Pokemon has so much to offer, and they know that too. And that's even the reason why we're expanding and even getting a MOBA. Because, like, I think the idea of it is more of a culture as opposed to just a game. You know what I mean? And when people come to realize that, they'll know, like, hey, like, you know, maybe I should try this out, because you're missing out on something that you could be having a lot of fun in. And that's the reason why I do what I do, because I generally enjoy, you know, collecting cards. I generally do going out and shiny hunting. I generally do finding new challenges to do in Pokemon, you know, and engaging with my friends and building this community, you know, because you just never know where it's going to lead you to, right?
That's amazing, man. And Adam and I are both advocates for that same thing. We want our brand here at, like, the Pokemon Professor Network to be that bridge to connect the different trainers from different areas of the fandom all together, have them experience the franchise in new ways, whether it's reminiscing on the old anime, or watching the new anime, or watching Twilight Wings, or playing the TCG or TCGO, or experiencing the main series games. And so that whole connection of the franchise, I think, and we'll get to this in a minute, but I think Twitch really does an amazing job of being a hub for all of that, even more so than YouTube. And because it gives creators a little bit more flexibility in terms of diversification of their specific brand, where what I see and what I've learned from having so many different creators, and we've had a ton of YouTubers on, is that YouTube is very, you know, the funnel is very thin at the bottom. So people will come to a YouTube channel for a specific type of content, whether that's Pokemon Go content or Sword and Shield content, and deviation from that is a little bit more challenging. But whereas in Twitch, people can have a little bit more lateral freedom to explore different things, and Pokemon itself gives the creators that much of freedom, because they could stay within the Pokemon universe and still have exceptionally diverse content. And that's what really excites me about bringing all these different trainers together, because a lot of times trainers will have interest simply because they have the knowledge base, and say, like, they could watch the TCG and be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I know these Pokemon. So they immediately have this connection that's very passive, and then as they're able to engage with that format of Pokemon, they can learn and learn and learn, and it's just really cool tying those, you know, making those connections and making those, you know, being a bridge between all those different things. And with your content specifically, like, how important is that mix to your kind of your vision for the AwesomeAdam brand? I mean, because it seems that it's like you go fucking hard in every direction, and I think that's really exciting, especially like on social. I see the TCG, and I'm like, holy shit, man, this dude's fucking got another booster box. Like, what the hell? Like is that mix really like an integral part of your brand vision?
I see the way that I see it is that I'm the type of person who's like, if I want something, I go for it. You know, if I have a goal in mind, I go ahead for it. Like, if I want, let's say, for example, I want a shiny Pokemon in this game, like, I'm going to go for it. Like, as you know a lot of people who grind Pokemon Go, looking for a specific Pokemon the entire time, or for an event, etc. I'm just like that with everything that I do. If I'm passionate about something, I'm going to continue to be passionate about it. I may be a little over passionate, you know, obviously, like Valor and all, But it just that flame, like that passionate flame for the game, it just burns really bright with me, dude. I don't know how to explain it. Like, and the reason why I love doing what I do on Twitch is because like it's so, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I know I'm doing a thing where I am inspiring people to do the same as I'm doing, in a sense, because it does help improve their lives in the way that they choose it to be, right? But when people actually tell me like, oh, Adam, I just went to go pick up 5 Pokemon packs today. Like, I'm going to open them the same time as you. Or, oh, Adam, I actually just started playing Pokemon GO because I see you've been having a lot of fun with it. Or, oh, I just started playing Pokemon GO and actually have a friend group now. Like, how heartwarming it is?
Hell yeah, dude.
Like
that's the best.
I mean? Yeah, where you can see the actual feedback for the community.
And that's what keeps me going. And that's what makes that flame larger, if that makes sense. Like, that's what's keeping me going. That's what gets me like going with all this stuff. Like I was doing stuff for myself, but like now I'm doing it for myself and people, because at the end of the day it's for me. But also now that I have this community behind me, like it's definitely like I always go for what I want. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Hell yeah, man. And Adam and I, my Adam and I, fantastic Adam, we're both longtime TCG collectors and players. Like, we love the fucking TCG. And it's very exciting now. I don't know, like, do you think the TCG is currently like on the rise? It seems like it's getting more support from TPCI. It seems like it's expanding and the popularity is growing. I don't know if this has to do with the pandemic and people aren't going out, which seems weird because you kind of need to go to card shops, but I think it is.
I know for a fact that it's growing. I know I've seen people pop up out of the blue where they just started collecting cards now. They're going to go buy cards now. And I think it does have directly linked to the pandemic because, during this time when everybody's just sitting around trying to find stuff to do, maybe some people look back and like, hey, at this point in my life, I had fun when I was, collecting these cards, and there's some people out here who are making a business out of it in sort of a sense for the cards, which is like another discussion. But, and there's other people who are generally trying to play the game. And so I feel like there's this odd combination of just like, it just all happened at the same time. And I feel like that's really where the growth is. Plus all the hype from the price of the cards too. Like, that's one thing too when it comes into it. Like, I've talked to a lot of people about this kind of stuff and it's just going crazy. Like, it's I could go into it if you guys want me to.
Yeah, well, you look at the prices of cards before the pandemic and then now there's a significant price increase, especially for
Adam has been playing
stuff,
the fucking TCG market like the stock market lately.
Because the true collectors are
calling
going
me up.
after.
He's like, it's up. The trends are up.
He's like,
I don't know if I should open this.
But yeah, continue. Go in.
It's
yeah,
weird
I want
to
you
say,
to go into that.
But like, there's two types of it. There's people who've been opening up cards, trying to look for cards, and then reselling those, which I understand have to make a side hustle. But then there's also a lot of people who will go to Target and buy like 30 Hidden Fates tins that come into stock and then sell each one for like $40, at the time, even knowing with this whole reprint thing going on. I get it, like, people do have to make money, but also at the same time too, like, you're kind of taking away an experience from other people as well too. Like, people also forget that there are a lot of kids, obviously, who want to look for these cards, and they're seeing all these adults on YouTube, social media, all this stuff, trying to get that same experience, but they can't because, their parents don't want to take them, or when their parents do take them, it's not what they're looking for, So it's kind of sad to think about it in that perspective, but that is also a real thing too.
Oh yeah, I mean, Adam and I know all about that because we were both part of like the Toys to Life world where, Amiibo and Skylanders and Lego Dimensions, and the resale market during that, bubble was insane. And people would, wipe out entire shelves and, resell them immediately. They would be hitting eBay like crazy prices. And we, obviously with Pokemon, we're seeing that all the time. And Hidden Fates is the perfect example. Like, I was at my Target the other day and just happened to be walking by the shelf and it was stocked with fucking Hidden Fates tins. And I was just like, I texted Adam, I go, yo, dude, you want some?
And I was like, get all of them because I would love to open them. And so, like right now, I'm sitting on a Shining Legends Darkrai box, Zamazenta tin, and 3 Hidden Fates tins. Content coming soon.
I know you got the goods right now. It's like I'm sitting on 2 hidden Fates tins myself, so it's like I'm itching. I got that bug now. Do you play the TCG, or are you more on the collector side?
So basically what happened was everything's always usually a time thing for me. And so what happened was back in 2015, I was playing cards. I was at a card shop. I had a group. I had all that fun stuff. You know what I mean? That's when I was first getting into playing TCG. And the problem is the more I got busy, the less I was able to go to the card shop and be able to play and do what I loved over there. And so that's kind of a reason why I kind of like shied away from playing TCG in the first place. And the same with TCG GO. I mean, you guys know this as well too. Like some of the matches can take forever. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Yep.
People will lag. They'll wait out a turn. They'll hope you won't play because they know they're about to lose. Like,
well, there's also like five major stall decks in the fucking format right now too.
Exactly.
Like
yeah. You know, and I think that's where I kind of like shied away from the game, is because at the time I've always been that type of person where, like, you know, it's not time management. Like I like to make my time the most effective, if that makes sense.
Sure.
That just wasn't meeting up with me in that way, and so that's why I kind of tried to. I'm gonna try to get into it more and make time for it, but I'm just not like rushing into it. If that makes sense as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I love the parallels between Pokemon Go and the TCG. With Pokemon Go, there's so many different ways that players can engage with the game. They can raid, they can do PvP, they can grind, they can shiny hunt, they can do gyms, you know, all that stuff. TCG is the same way. It's like you can have people that are just in it for the collecting, just in it for the art, just in it for the competition. You know, there's so many different ways you can engage with those platforms that, you know, I love those parallels. So, you know, Adam hosts another podcast, Special Conditions, which we're definitely going to get you on. That's all TCG, but, you know, his co-host Josh Brown is new to the TCG, and he's in it from the collecting perspective, where Adam has been, you know, a competitor for 2 decades. So, I mean, it's like you have this competitive perspective and the collector perspective, and you have that juxtaposition that, you know, with the cards bringing it all together. And it's like, I love that. I absolutely love those 2 dynamics. And I think there's strong parallels with Go, because there's so many different ways that you can connect, you know, with the franchise itself. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about Twitch, because
I love me some Twitch.
Well, we've had so many YouTubers on, you know, over the years, and a lot of the YouTubers have migrated to Twitch. We'll get there, but it's always interesting to me when we have someone on where Twitch is their, you know, their main platform.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Like, I the reason why, are you asking me like why did I start on Twitch, or like what do you mean by that exactly?
Go ahead, Adam. Adam. You
Twitch
can just take it right from here. Yeah.
Yeah, so Twitch is my main platform in general, because I think it was more of like an appeal as to, you know, having, you know, doing editing and building up videos and, like, you know, filming at specific parts and going to places or doing this, doing that. I think live streaming had more appeal to me. Actually, a lot of people know this, but I tell people this on my stream all the time too. I never really watched Twitch before I started streaming. The only person that I really knew from Twitch or had watched his streams before was Pope Dave, believe it or not. He was the only person that had watched him, and one other person are the only people that I had ever watched on Twitch, period.
That's interesting. That's super interesting.
Yeah, and everybody knows he was the one who started doing Pokemon GO in the first place on Twitch. I think he was probably, if not the first, but I guess you could say pioneer, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Of having
absolutely.
Pokemon GO on Twitch platform, you know. That's what I was trying to say. So when, you know, I was thinking about it myself too. I was just like, hey, like, you know, for a while I've been wanting to do that stuff as well, like, you know, play Let's Go or play Pokemon Go, or, you know, and so one day I literally, like, just a spur of the moment, I literally just bought a capture card, bought a webcam, and just you know, set everything up and click go live, and, you know, here we are today.
And you went live.
It was just a spur of the moment thing.
What are the audiences like between the TCG video, like the video game, and Pokemon Go?
So account like in terms of like how people interact with you. So with Sword and Shield, or you could say Let's Go as well. Sword and Shield and Let's Go were kind of two little different of audiences. Let's Go was more about people kind of sharing the same hunts that you were doing, but also talking about different games that they were playing. Whether they were like, doing resets on a Ruby and Sapphire, or they were doing wormholes in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Even though there are two different categories, people would also see that as well on there. For Pokemon Go, it was more of like, how many shiny Pokemon do you have at that time? This is early 2019. I started Twitch April 2019. How many shiny Pokemon do you have? How many hundos do you have? And at that time I had like 6 spawns on my house for Pokemon Go. So nice. I would always get shiny Pokemon at my house, and I moved to play. Now there's lures and stuff, so it's pretty convenient with that. But yeah, it was just, having that up and having an audience for both, and having them merge together in a sense, because Let's Go and Pokemon Go were the most connected games at that time as well too. And so kind of sharing tips about it, how, people could transfer from here to there, and maybe one day in the future they'll do that with the next mainline game, which, we're here today and we're still waiting on Pokemon Home to do that.
I know, like, shit.
I thought this was going to be the way of the future, where Sword and Shield was going to have something like that. But, we'll still wait. Well, it's going to happen at some point. Who knows?
I know. I wish we had that.
Yeah, that was kind of my idea. Like, at some point they're going to do both, and I really do enjoy playing both. And so, like, I generally enjoy doing that. The TCG, actually, my first ever TCG stream was Unbroken Bonds booster box opening. And it was just straight up just me opening up a box of I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't look up any prices for the cards. I just picked up the box and opened it up. I don't know what I was doing. I'm going to be 100% honest. It was like the 3rd or 4th stream of mine ever. And, to think like, wow, this guy just started this week and he bought a whole booster box to open up. Like, I don't know what I was thinking at that time. But I was really happy about it. As on my first ever pack of Unbroken Bonds, I actually opened up the Rainbow Rare Reshizard.
Oh, wow.
And it was...
That's an epic
on my
pull.
first pack on stream.
That's like the to fucking start. That's like, yes, please.
And I don't know, it's just like, sometimes, I feel like sometimes in my life when I just go with my gut and I just do things, I feel like sometimes they work out. I mean, not all the time, obviously, but like, you never know how the circumstances can be, and you just kind of just go for it. And the, like, more of like the TCG integration actually took a pause on it in terms, because like, obviously it was expensive, and I wasn't, able to make any money from making money to so I could open up any boxes at that time, obviously. So it would just be sporadic in terms of when I could. And so when Hidden Fates came out, that's when I kind of saw more of a growth in the TCG community and more people wanting to see more pack openings as well too. So obviously, if people wanted to see more of it, I was going to do more of it. And just how you guys are seeing recently, I was like that with Hidden Fates when it first came out. This first couple of months before I feel like Hidden Fates disappeared for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it disappeared for a while and it picked back up again.
Do you still have the blanket?
Which is weird. So yeah,
the fucking blanket, dude. That was the greatest thing ever, bro. I was pissing my pants. I sent Adam the link. I was like, yo, look at this, dude. This is insane. It's so funny.
I was like, that's the most expensive blanket I've ever seen.
Like, someone's like, this is flexing on a whole different level. I'm just like, oh my god. That's what actually people say, or kind of like perceive me, I guess, in my community. It's more of like a joke, but like flexing, like that's such like a big thing, I guess you could say, for my community. And the reason why I say this is because I like when people flex on me, if that makes sense. So like say for example, someone comes in my chat, like let's say Dino just came out. And the first day someone was like, hey, I hatched a shiny Dino. I love when people come and tell me or flex that they got something like that, because
hell yeah.
It's like good news. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people sometimes get mad when they hear that from others, And I want to change that mentality, because I want people to understand, like, hey, like the world isn't really in a good place right now. And if someone's sharing something exciting happening with them, let them be happy about it. That's kind of the idea.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I couldn't agree with you more, man, especially with like the state of PvP, especially on social media right now for Pogo PvP. It's like, man, people need some fucking Xanax or something. It's like really people's fucking faces are tight on fucking Twitter right now.
Yeah, you just got, sometimes you got to be positive about stuff, man. Like I understand if the world is like, okay, you know what I mean? I guess I have the attitude, but like we're not okay, man. We need to be as happy as we can, if that makes sense. Obviously realistic at the same time, but also try to be happy as we can.
Yeah,
and
just be as kind as you can too. You know?
Yeah.
The
Spread
answer
that
is always
positivity.
kindness.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I tell people, like, someone's like, dude, you know how many people, you know how long I was looking for that shiny Charizard from Hidden Fates? I was looking for that thing for 10 months, dude. You know how many people came into my chat and told me they pulled one before me, or pulled 2 or 3 before me? Like obviously, you know what I mean? Like, other people, a lot of people would get mad about that kind of stuff, but I'm happy that I'm the person they came over to tell me that to, because they know that they kind of correlated that with me in a sense, because like they were looking for that at the same time as me. You know what I mean? And same thing with like Sword and Shield. Let's say for example with Sword and Shield, I'm looking for like Sandy Gas that came out all armor. I was looking for that thing for like 5 or 6 days, you know. Some people were like, oh yeah, I found it like, 5 encounters. I'm like, oh, well,
Shit.
fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
No.
I'm still hunting delibirds. I can't find it. I'm hatching eggs. I still can't. But I do also play very little, so it's my own fault. But it's still, it's like I go back, I could start doing a different area and like completing the game, but I want that delibird first.
Yeah, dude, go for it. Get that blue bird.
Yeah, and so as far as like your audience crossover, like what do you see between each format? Like how much?
Like in terms of like how they go over to it, or like?
Yeah, do they communicate, or like, oh, the TCG fans are like, wait, I want to play Pokemon Go, or Pokemon Go fans are like,
absolutely. Oh, absolutely, dude. It's honestly, it's crazy. Like, that's what I was trying to say earlier, too, is like, it's crazy to think like, hey, like, I'm watching this guy on Twitch, it could be me, it could be anyone else, or that's kind of the idea, but like, someone would be like, oh, I'm watching, well, say for example, me, like, someone's like, oh my god, this guy's having a lot of fun with the mainline games. I'm gonna go buy a Switch and buy this game, which is what, like, Switch Lite's like $200, game's like $60. They go out, they see me having fun with this game, and they're inspired to go pay this much money just to go have fun themselves. Like, that's such a crazy idea to me. Like, someone, like, I've had a lot of people play Pokemon Go, play mainline games. I've had a lot of people play mainline games, pick up Pokemon Go. Even a couple of my other friends who stream as well, too, seen that I was doing, and they've been asking me questions about that, too, which is, like, amazing, you know what I mean? Kind of have the integration. Even people who even started doing both, because I've been doing both, also started doing the cards as well, too. So I'm like, they're really investing into this, because they've seen me having fun with it as well. And like that just still, till right this moment, is still mind-boggling to me. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah, so everything's coming like full circle.
Yeah.
You get to see everything happening. Mm-hmm. Now, as Ken was saying earlier, we've seen a lot of Pokemon Go YouTubers migrate over to Twitch due to this pandemic. Do you think they're going to stick around once things like go back to normal and they're able to go out and travel again?
I think they'll 100% stick around. I think the idea behind it is that obviously if they win over something, anybody who makes a big step into anything doesn't know what they're going into unless they do it themselves. So I feel like now they're in the position where they're doing it themselves. I can see that all of them are enjoying it. All my other friends are enjoying going over from Twitch to YouTube. And I still think that they will stick around because, like you guys were saying earlier as well, too, the whole funnel. I feel like with YouTube, like if you have one thing, you better stick to that one thing, or else nothing else is really going to work out as well.
Yeah, for sure.
What I mean? That's just kind of the idea behind it. But with Twitch, like you
Understandable.
Could go around and do anything at this point. And, if you have a dedicated, like a community, they will 100% follow you where you're going to. That's kind of the idea behind it. Is the whole idea behind Twitch. I feel like it's more community, because you're sitting here, you're live streaming, you're talking to the people that are in the chat. You're building a connection between anybody. Like YouTube's cool, 100%. Like it's cool and all, but you will never establish that kind of connection with people. Is what I really liked about Twitch in the first place. was, hearing people's stories, seeing where they come from, different parts of the world, just everything. It's beautiful, like, in my opinion. Just, like, building a community, it's, like, one of the greatest things ever. Like, it's amazing.
Speaking of building your community, what's Speaking of community, what's your stream schedule look like, and how important is it to developing an audience?
My stream schedule currently right now is 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've been doing it recently for 7 days a week. And the reason why I've been working at home as well too for my career. So I've been having more time to be able to do so. And with better time management, I've been able to stream 7 days a week. And I feel like it is important to stick to a schedule, but also kind of put your head into a place where that you can make those times. If you say, like, hey, I'm making this schedule for 6 days a week at this time, and, like, always have to miss out on a Tuesday because something's going on, like, just never include that Tuesday. I feel like people talk about making schedules, but they don't tell them how to realistically make one. Like, sure. You could tell anybody, hey, make a schedule, but, like, realizing, testing out different schedules as well too. I've worked at many different schedules. For like the first 3 months I had no schedule, you know what I mean? But, like, this past year, I feel like I've been very dedicated to mine, and,
which has probably helped, grow your channel.
Absolutely. It's very important to keep a schedule 100%, but also putting it in your head that this schedule is important. It is a priority, but also not to neglect your responsibilities in life, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Now, how do you decide what games to stream and when?
So as of right now, I've been just literally doing, before the pandemic, I was actually switching between having, Sword and Shield and Pokemon Go, or back then Let's Go and Pokemon Go. And then I would just do, IRL streaming. Like, I would go to Santa Monica Pier. I was actually, before this pandemic was going on, I was at Santa Monica Pier maybe like 3 to 4 times a night, doing these streams for Pokemon Go. And, I was having a lot of fun doing them, obviously. And, it just depends on how the events were. Sword and Shield didn't have a lot of events, but when Pokemon Go did, that's why I dedicate time. Like, hey, these 2 or 3 nights, we're going to go out. I'm going to go out to the pier. I'm going to go play over there, come through. But the other times, there's Sword and Shield and Pokemon Go. This is standard for me.
I mean, I've seen this a lot on Twitch, and the combining of games into a single stream, it's becoming pretty standard on Twitch. Now, I was doing some TCG stuff, like I was playing TCGO and had Pokemon Go running on the side, and it's like, it's a lot to fucking manage. Like, it can be, a lot going on, especially if you're engaged in PvP or something like that. Is it difficult to manage 2 games at once when you're streaming and manage the chat?
Actually, for me, to be honest, it's not. It's a part of my lifestyle, if that makes sense. Like, since I was a kid, I've had, like, multiple things going on at the same time and try to manage on them. The earliest memory I have with this, when I was like 12, and I was doing, like, competitive for Diamond and Pearl at that time, and I was building a team. And, like, I remember my mom walking into the room, and she sees a TV on. The laptop on me. I had my phone in my hand, a DS to the left, and
yes.
And then she was just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "Why do you need this many screens on at the same time?" And I was just like, "Oh, I'm doing research." And she's like, "Well, what about the TV? What's on there?" I'm like, "Oh, that's just background noise." And, like, that baffled my mom, because she's like, "Is this child okay? Like, like, how is he doing all this stuff?" And I don't know. I've just been like that since I was little. And that's the reason why I do what I do now. I feel like I have the need to have 2 or 3 different things going on. Because you have, the game. Yeah, you got Sword and Shield, you got Go. Switch over to the cards, and that's separate. And then the Twitch chat. That's also another thing, too. Like, seeing how many people are writing or doing things or keeping a conversation genuinely going versus, like, just talking, if that makes sense.
Sure. I mean, I think that's probably one of the most unique dynamics that's required and mandated by Twitch creators, is that ability to have a nonstop organic conversation with the community in real time while they're doing whatever it is they're doing. And that's exceptionally difficult. And that's, it's kind of like singing and playing the piano at the same time. You really have to be able to separate two parts of your brain to engage with both of those things, but also, giving your direct attention to both of those things at the same time. I envy those that have that knack that can kind of pull that off, because it's definitely a very acute skill that is not had by many people. So that's definitely an awesome skill. Now, honing in on Pokemon Go a little bit, what are your favorite ways to play Go? I mean, obviously in the main series with the shiny grind and all that stuff, everyone loves fucking shinies, but what about Pokemon Go? What are your favorite ways to play? Do you love raiding? Is it a shiny thing? PvP? How do you enjoy Pigo?
So for me, honestly, like, it is shiny hunting, but also at the same time too, I really do love doing raids as well. I'm kind of as about gyms at this point, because like everyone who's been playing since like 2016 is kind of like, I feel like we all have that same like mentality of like, oh, like gyms are cool, but it's kind of like you just blank out during them at this point. You know what I mean? It's kind of like just there because we've had it for so long. I enjoy raids. I enjoy shiny hunting. I like doing PvP as well too, but I just haven't like, I could be very deep into doing a lot of PvP as well too. But honestly, I feel like sometimes it's I guess you'd say like mentally straining, and
absolutely.
Absolutely. And like the reason why I play is because I kind of want to get away from that and like stay as stress-free as possible. And so I just don't want to get in that mode where like, I'm just constantly like, I guess you could say slightly frustrated sometimes when it's not your fault. And so that's kind of why I just I'm into it. Like, I know everything about it, you know what I mean? I know how the mechanics works. I do a lot of battles myself too, but definitely not a sweaty, you know what I mean?
No, I'm the same way, man. It's like I love PvP, but I can't, and I'm engaged in it a lot, but I can't get into it at the level of becoming an elite player, because I don't have the mind space to dedicate to it. But yes, it could be exceptionally stressful, and it's exceptionally time consuming to understand the details and semantics of what it takes to being an elite level player. So I feel you 100% on that, because I still love engaging with PvP, but at the same time, I love fucking around and just having fun with it rather than, worrying about, being the very best. I feel you on that. Now,
yeah, exactly. And like, if a viewer wants to send me a battle, go for it. Well,
yeah, so that's awesome. That's
GBL,
awesome.
If I do GBL, I'll definitely go up to you. I'll go like rank 8 or 9, you know what I mean? And just chill from there, because when it gets to 9 to 10, I've seen people do that. I'm just like, nah. I see.
Yeah,
I see
dude. I'm the same way, man.
Okay.
I stall out at 9. It's like, fuck. There's no way I'm getting to rank 10. It's like,
I see the hurt, and I'm just like, no. I feel bad when I see that, because I know they care about it so much. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, dude, like, it's hurtful to see that kind of stuff, But at the end of the day, it's what they like to do at the same time. I'm just like, oh, dude, like, it's, it'd be fine. But, everyone's passionate about things, and I totally understand that. But for me, like, I like playing it, but it just like, dude, I already am growing gray hairs at this point. I think it's like genetics. And so I just don't want any more of that. I'm fine. Like, I'm good.
Nice. Now, you said you went to card shops and stuff like that, and I think that that's going to be an amazing dynamic for people to experience that have started picking up cards during the pandemic that have never been to a card shop, and they're buying cards on Amazon and they're buying cards at Target. What I know, once the ability to shop small comes back around and the ability to be back into game shops, I think that that's going to be an amazing dynamic for trainers to experience. And it's like,
lots of new players.
Yeah, and I host PvP tournaments, obviously, because of the pandemic that we're doing everything remote. But some of my live tournaments would be at card shops. So it's like you would see this weird crossover happen, and I would give out TCG cards as prizes to my Pokemon Go tournaments. And the dynamic and the ambiance that environment evokes is really awesome. And I think that that's going to be something that's going to be very powerful for Pokemon Go players to kind of cross over to different forms of Pokemon. Now, are you familiar with like the Play Pokemon like setup, the way that works with the VG and the TCG? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think Pokemon Go has a future in that space? Like, do you think that Pokemon Go can be added to that Play Pokemon roster? Because it's been in talks with, I was just talking with the Go Stadium guys the other day, and it's like, look, this could be a game changer for Pokemon Go if it gets added to the Play Pokemon roster. Do you think that's something that could happen?
I generally think it is something that can happen because I've seen, I guess you could say, a lot of people in the Pokemon Company mention a lot about how they really do want to push forward more to Pokemon Go. I think they're just kind of waiting on a lot of people in the community because, like, also at the same time too, I think from like a business perspective, they're seeing that Pokemon Go is doing very well too, and I guess a lot of people too. It's kind of weird, but like a lot of people don't know Pokemon Go is still around too, which is also kind of strange, like from the Pokemon community. Because I believe it or not, I've had people come to my chat and tell me like, "Oh my god, I miss playing that," like, or like, you know what I mean. I've had a lot of people tell me that, which I thought everybody's have seen people play Pokemon Go recently. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of weird to see that. So like, I guess maybe if like everybody's more on the same page, they'll kind of see it, and I feel like that's gonna happen pretty soon as well. That they see a lot. I'm sure they're seeing a lot more people in the community start to play Pokemon Go, and I feel like that might be happening pretty soon because of that. So like people were telling me that like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Now it's so different.
Correct.
Like
it just seems that Pokemon Go continuously makes profits, and it's continually making money, and you've got something like Pokken Tournament, and that's just one game.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many downloadable characters can you put in a game that people already bought once?
Yeah, but the money isn't necessarily the draw. I mean, I think that there's a lot that needs to go into it to make the game mechanically sound, and I think that's probably what has prevented this from happening to this point of why Pokemon Go, and again, this is tinfoil hat shit, but why Pokemon Go hasn't already been added to the Play Pokemon roster is because, unfortunately, the game is not mechanically sound. And I think without having
they should
a game
at least bring
sound,
leagues.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If then you're going to rely on solid connection. You have to rely on the store's Wi-Fi potentially, and even at fucking Pokemon Worlds last year, they had connection issues on stage, live on Twitch, in front of 15,000 people online. So it's like that kind of issue is hard to promote on the global stage when there's mechanical issues with the game.
Yeah,
and clearly there's mechanical issues. So it's like, if you go to Worlds and they're able to somehow do this on a private network or on a closed network, that would be different. But we're seeing it with the Players' Cup now with the VG and the TCG, how there's people having issues because there's all these variables of people's connections. And the way that those connections affect Pokemon Go is dire to the success of having a consistent gameplay, background and foundation. So I think that mechanically is probably the biggest challenge right now for it to be added to that roster, because I can't see them being like, yes, we're ready for the world stage, and then it gets put on the world stage and it just doesn't work, or there's lag issues, or there's server issues, or there's fast move desync or something like that. You can't have that in a true competitive sense, because it's just too many variables, too many mechanical variables. But if in a perfect fucking world you could Thanos snap the servers into where they need to be and have the game function properly, I don't think there's anything that could hold Pokemon Go back, because obviously, like you're saying, it's the number one generating portion of the franchise, and the amount of money that it's making is fucking hand over fist, more than in the first year of Pokemon Go. I think it was something. I remember I was listening to It's Super Effective podcast, and I forgive me if I'm misspeaking here, but the first year Pokemon Go was out, it generated more money than the previous 8 years of Pokemon at large. So, when you talk about that scaling of profit, it's a force to be reckoned with. But from a competitive space, it's not just about the profits. The game has to be sound. And I love Niantic, but unfortunately, the game just is not mechanically sound. In my perspective, it definitely needs a lot of work to get brought onto that stage. But it's definitely an awesome conversation, man. I think that the game, the in-game shop, the card shop, is going to be an awesome dynamic. And once those card shop owners can start feeling the support of the Pokemon Go community going to their shops to buy cards rather than fucking Target or Amazon, that's going to be that grassroots movement that Pokemon was built on, which I'm really excited to come back alive.
Definitely. I think it's more the community itself, because I think why I do what I do as well too is to kind of bring more information to light on each and every separate game. So like if somebody does have a question for me about Sword and Shield or about the DLC, or if somebody has a question about Pokemon Go or TCG, they can always ask me about this stuff. And like a lot of people actually don't know that Pokemon Go has competitive. And I think that might be one of the biggest reasons too. Like, I mean, for us, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's always tell people, like, you know, it's good to have people who are like you around you in your life in terms of like interests, but like you also have to like kind of expand. And so I talked to a lot of people too who barely know anything about Pokemon, and they've never heard of, you know, Pokemon Go being competitive as well too, but they know about Pokemon being competitive. You know, they've even heard about Pokemon Tournament, you know, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think after this year, that's going to change. I feel like after this year, a lot of people have been getting to the game. And so obviously, just like with everything else, what's the number one marketing is word, you know, is person to person, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people talking to each other about the game, sharing the experiences, you know, telling people like, hey, I played this, I've tried this out, I know that exists, I know that's there. So I feel like it's more, I think, after this year, I feel like since a lot more people have been jump starting into the game, and you guys have seen a lot of people just start picking up this game during the pandemic as well too. So I feel like it's gonna happen, you know, like
yeah. No, I've seen an influx of new trainers. I mean, I'm still one of those people that enjoys the gym system. Like I'm working on, you know, maxing out 20 blissies at the moment. Like I hit the fucking gyms hard. So it's like I'm in the gyms every day. And it's like I'm seeing level 20 players, level 30 players. It's like, holy shit, these are new accounts. Mm-hmm. Like, so I know that there's an influx of new players in Pokemon Go. And like what you're saying about people not knowing that there's a competitive side to Pokemon Go, it's because everyone and their fucking mothers started playing Pokemon Go when it came out, but then they bailed, even if it was within the first 12 months. So they're only familiar with the features that were available in the first 12 months of the game's release. There's been so much that's happened in Pokemon Go since then. So it's like, oh shit, they added that, they added this, they added that. It's like people just don't know because they left the game before any of the stuff came to be. So when they do come back, it's like, holy shit, this is a very robust game now. There's so much to do. And I think that's going to add to that excitement. And then I just look forward to the community aspect again of the card shop, man, because I just love hanging at those places. I just think that dynamic is very, very fucking cool.
It really is, honestly. I think it's something a lot of people haven't really experienced themselves. It's like, I think that's something TCG and Pokemon Go actually have in common that the mainline games kind of don't really know about, in a sense, because like I feel like the mainline games really promote about like trading and having friends and like creating this community, but I feel like TCG and Pokemon Go have done that more than the mainline games, if that makes sense. Because like I've only ever had a handful of times where like I knew people who played and I traded with them and I battled with them, you know what I mean, but never to the level or extent that you could ever see with a Pokemon Go community or a TCG community, you know, because those bonds between Go and TCG, I feel like those things are similar because like those groups are very tight-knit. Like, they're very close with each other. Like, they see each other all the time. They communicate with each other. But, like, with mainline games, I feel like you don't see that as often. Like, you can kind of talk about the game, but there's nothing really holding you on to each other, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
That makes total sense.
Adam and I, we say that the parallels between TCG and Go, we talk about all the time, especially in regards to the community. And I definitely see that exact thing that you're saying, where there is those parallels with the culture surrounding those games and the way that the people covet and, you know, really live and breathe that format. I absolutely see that 110%.
Now, Adam, let's switch gears real quick. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us about your partnership with Stream Gifts, starting with, you know, what is Stream Gifts and how can we learn about it?
Oh, with Stream Gifts, I got a partnership with them, I think it was 4 months ago, I want to say. But it's a service which allows for your community to be able to I guess share things with you, and it could also be anonymous as well. So like this, for example, like you'll have like a list, like a Amazon wish list is what they have generated for everybody, and you could choose like, let's say for example, like, oh, like I want this like Master Ball mug, you know what I mean, like a coffee mug, and I just put on that list there, you know. And if someone was feeling like, hey, you know what, like they've been really wanting this specific thing, like, you know, I'm gonna have it ordered to their house, and it literally just ships it over to their house. And so for people, they've actually had a lot of people, I guess they're early, I guess they're in beta right now, if I'm not mistaken, and so everyone who's partnered with them is getting this service for free as of right now. And I think currently right now that when they step out of it, it's going to be a little bit different, and they're going to have more perks for people as well too. But that's really all that I really know about it. But they're still kind of, they're still in their beta phase though right now.
No, that's super cool. I mean, I've taken part in like Reddit gift exchanges before, and it is very cool to get just some random shit. You know what I mean? From a random person. There's something very, you know, plus one faith in humanity kind of thing when that happens. So it's like, I saw that in your profile and I was like, dude, this sounds really interesting. And I looked into it for a moment and I was like, oh, this seems to be picking up traction. I was like, I definitely wanted to have us ask you about that, because I think that's a cool dynamic. And again, it adds to just the positive vibe and culture surrounding this type of community. It's super neat, super cool.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
I really do. The people over there are really nice. Like, you know what I mean? We even have like they are constantly communicating. They're very nice. They talk about certain points. If there's any help that you need, you can directly contact one of the people they have for their support with any of us as well too. So it's really nice. It's a really nice program, and they're really nice. I can't wait for everyone to be able to enjoy it as well.
Nice.
Definitely. We look forward to that coming to more content creators. Now, what are your short and long-term plans, you know, and goals for the brand at large?
I guess short term, I guess it's a short to long term, obviously is as of right now, you know, anyone who starts on Twitch are going to try to get partnered on Twitch. That's kind of my current goal as of right now. You know, we've had a lot of strides and goals with our community, but I feel like this is the one where I'm really working hard toward. And so I'll be pretty excited about that, you know, just kind of have like I guess, you know, create a better experience for my community in doing so. You know, because there's certain things you can do as a partner that you can as an affiliate. So I'm really working hard as much as I can up until that, you know. And when that happens, and people don't tell you, like, a lot of people who do get partnered, you know, it gets harder from there as well too. Like, just because someone hits that point doesn't mean it gets easier. You know what I mean? Like, now you're playing with, you know, the big dogs now. Like, you're there with everybody else. Like, you got to check them out with everybody else that's doing the same. And, you know, so I'm going to, you know, just the way that I'm doing now, just imagine how it's going to be like when that happens, you know. So that's kind of the idea behind it as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we've had streamers on, and they say it's kind of like merging onto the highway. It's like, you know, the as you're grinding and working your way up to being vetted and making partner, you're kind of on the on-ramp. And then it's like you get that partnership, and it's like, all right, you better fucking put your blinker on and merge, because the traffic is going fast. And it's like, you know, it's very easy to get lost in the shuffle at that point, because you're on the move. So I think that's great, man. I love how Twitch puts together that trajectory for its creators, and, you know, really gives them a path to success. So we definitely wish you the best there. And, you know, from the looks of things, it looks like you're building quite the foundation. And I think the diversity of your content is something that's going to really help you by having this segmented audience that also has this amazing degree of crossover. It's a great strategy, and, you know, something that we try to employ here on this channel as well, because we try to cover all the different bases of Pokemon. It's a really cool thing that you're doing, man. I wish you the best of luck. Absolutely, 100%.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
So, dude, man, as we wrap up here, you know, please, I'll put your links, of course, in the description wherever, you know, we can find you. But let our community know where they can find you online and how they can connect with you.
So, with everything, so currently right now on socials, on Twitter and Instagram, AwesomeAdam TV for Twitch, YouTube, AwesomeAdam TV, same name for everything, across any social platform, even the ones that are upcoming. Who knows what's going to come up in the future now, but anything that you type in, you can find me on there with the same name.
All right, awesome. AwesomeAdam TV. Links will be in the description for all of that stuff. Please check him out. Give him a sub, follow,
thanks so much for coming on
to connect. And we're definitely going to get you on the Special Conditions podcast as well. I'm sure Adam has plenty that he'd love to pick your brain with on the TCG side because... once he gets going there, it's like you can't fucking stop him. So it's like, that's absolutely his domain. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
Talk about the anime as well too. But yeah, I love it.
Oh yeah. We got it. We'll got to get you on. Got to watch them all. That's the beauty of it, man. We got all this shit going on. We can have you on all the different platforms, on all the different shows, because it's like there's just so much going on. Yeah, on Gotta Watch Them All, we talk about everything. We talk about merchandise. We talk about Pokemon Masters. We're definitely going to be covering Pokemon Unite. So it's like we're really excited about every bit of Pokemon, whatever the hell it may be. I mean, we talk about independent creators on Etsy that are making fucking flower pots. Well, it doesn't matter. We love it. You know what I mean? As long as it's Pokemon, we want to talk about it. So we really appreciate you coming on, man. And we wish you the best of luck. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys so much for this. And have a great day, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everyone else, thank you so much for checking out the show. Please check out luredup.com for everything that we have going on at the show, and check out PokemonProfessor.com for everything we have going on at the network. All right, so next week we have Awesome Blossom coming on the show. The following week we have Alfindial. So it's going to be a lot of awesome content coming up on the Creator Series, but thank you so much for checking us out. Adam, once again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, keep training, trainers. We'll see you all next week.